former chief advisor to the current British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, Dominic Cummings, has decided to release a series of WhatsApp messages, apparently from his vast back catalogue. But just how damaging are these messages to the current British government over here in the Houses of Parliament? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the heart of London. That is your political story breaking out of London today. Now let me give you a little bit of background, because we can't all forget, of course, that very poignant picture of the one-time special advisor, chief advisor no less, Dominic Cummings being booted out of 10 Downing Street late last year. In fact, Mr Cummings managed to get a photographer to snap this momentous moment, of course making sure he got all the front pages. But what really went wrong inside Parliament, and more importantly, number 10, between Boris Johnson and his one-time special advisor and, let's not forget, close friend, Dominic Cummings. Now here's the problem with Dominic, simply because of course he has a lot of information, he has a lot of texts, WhatsApp messages, but the bigger problem is this, that actually he's not very well liked within government, even though the government at the time decided to protect him when he went on that infamous trip, of course, to the castle just to test his eyesight in the middle of the pandemic. That's the thanks you get. But more importantly for Dominic, of course, he felt that he was on a time bomb, that he simply could do anything he wanted to do and have the power to go forward and control virtually every member of the Parliament. And it's interesting because only last year he put out a job advert basically saying that, you know, if you go and work for him, you have to give over your life because you will be working 24/7. How fast, of course, things change and how fast things turn around. Now, the problem for Mr Cummings is simply this. He could have done the usual political spill-all-tell-all book, but most publishers aren't really that interested, simply because political books don't sell. They're more a doctrine, really, of what that particular minister did or said at that time. Newspapers don't have the money to buy up such books anymore, so what are you going to do? So in the case of Mr Cummings, he's decided to release this particular product if you sign on to a special platform. I think it's about £100 a time to receive all of these messages. But people are already bored and tired of hearing about how bad things were. We've all lived through the terrible times of the pandemic, and we don't need to be reminded just how ineffectual certain people in the government were. And to criticise the Health Secretary now seems rather lame, but hasn't really had any lasting effect. Dominic himself also was looking to maybe get a move into television. He thought he had a lot to say. In fact, at the recent inquiry, I was told that he felt he came over brilliantly. I'm not sure by who. More importantly, of course, even TV companies are weary of signing up former politicians, advisors, that sort of thing, simply because it's a huge viewer turn-off. So for now, would you say that Dominic's bombshells, his truths as they are called, will they really affect the current government? The feeling over here is simply, no, they won't. Moving forward, really what can he say that people don't already know? And more importantly, if nobody wants to buy him up or snap him up or put him on TV, he'll simply fade away. And as Boris Johnson and his current government have already found out, people want to move forward with their lives, simply not look back. And this could be the biggest problem for the one-time special advisor, Dominic Cummings. Neil Sean, Parliament, London.